2021 was probably a year of getting a lot of things figured out within your family sphere. All the Saturn and Uranus squares of the year definitely weren't the easiest transits to go through, especially for a fixed sign like you, Scorpio. While we're still in a year focused on improved energy, 2022 will help soothe some of the year's growing pains preceding it. Especially for the first quarter of the year, you can expect many joyous moments, parties, and maybe even some creative projects. For those of you who've been trying to get pregnant or make a new addition to the family in general, that same half looks entirely promising. January is perhaps the slowest part of the first quarter, with the Venus retrograde happening in your third house. These retrogrades usually already pause on relational matters, but this could make it significantly challenging to relate to brotherly figures in your life. Especially for those of you who are teachers, January might be a time when mediating fights and discussions might come a little harder for you. Still, the retrograde won't even last the whole month, and it shouldn't pose a significant hamper in your plans. Yet, it would be wise to take things somewhat slowly, especially if they require you to work with other people. On the other hand, while the retrograde is happening, Jupiter will be trying his best to bring a surmountable amount of gifts to make that retrograde almost unnoticeable. This transit that started at the very end of 2021 will last all the way until May, so you can expect some entertaining times. The fifth house is the place of joy and children, so there's a chance you could be spending a considerable time surrounded by youngins. This, of course, can be taken literally or figuratively, but for the most part, the theme stays the same. 2022 will be the year for a jovial Scorpio to come out of you. Make the best out of it. This will be a fundamental break from all the not-so-graceful moments of 2021. In March, things start to get heated with the first Mars and Uranus square. Don't be surprised if some familiar challenges come around this time of the month. This is one of the more demanding transits of 2021, and having Mars, the ruler of your sign, come around the unpredictable Uranus can be a little rambunctious. This can cause some old arguments to come back up or even the loosening of some bonds. While this is not nearly a comfortable transit, it also comes into severe negative energy chords that may be present in your life. So, as tough as it may be to be grateful for it at the moment, know that as time goes on, you'll see the direction the universe is trying to take you. Ultimately, the goal of this month is purging out any weight you've been carrying on your shoulders. After this small hiccup, things get a lot smoother once Venus joins Jupiter in Pisces in April. This will be a sensuous month, in typical Scorpio fashion. It could be the time for some lustful excitement to come bless your life. Relationships of all kinds will be a lot easier to both manifest and strengthen this month. This atmosphere is obviously very on brand for a Scorpio, so take advantage of it and use your seductive natural powers to get the upper hand and get the right people on your side. It's also important to note that this will be the most fertile bit of Scorpio's year. If you're trying to bring anything to life, may that be children, a creative project, or even just a lovely garden, that would be the time to do it. The success will be even more reliable if you take the time to show your gratitude to Jupiter by having a little meditation dedicated to the greater benefit planet on a Thursday. 2022 is really the year of Jupiter. As we transition from spring to summer, Jupiter will be changing signs and going into your sixth house of health and routine. This will be a blessed time to get a new schedule going. Diets will be more likely to be successful at around that time, so take advantage of it and plan ahead. Though, you shouldn't be worried about missing this transit. It lasts pretty much the whole year and even some of 2023. With that in mind, this poses some good news for those trying to get their health back in check. With this propitious ingress in mind, most of the summer is looking quite exciting. However, as we get closer to August, there may be a sudden change in the atmosphere with a triple conjunction happening in your 7th house. Since Uranus is involved in this transit, the nature of what comes out of it can be quite unpredictable. However, since Mars will be in Taurus, be really careful with keeping anger and frustration inwards. This could lead to some heated arguments with people you love. August is a month when things that shouldn't be said and aren't truly felt could come out and end up hurting both you or someone else without necessity. It would be wise to take that energy out through physical exercise or any energy-demanding activities. In other words, even if you feel like you need to have an argument this month, try to wait just a little longer, so things don't get out of hand. To add to this, October comes back up with a final Saturn and Uranus square. This will likely be a rerun of similar events in the preceding year since that was the signature transit of 2021. This will be the time to revisit some older issues with the home so you can start the next year fresh. After this, we won't have any more of these squares for years to come, so don't be too alarmed. After the big blow of August and October, things calm down significantly. Jupiter will go retrograde back into your 5th house, which could bring back some of the joy of the early year, but this time it will be much more internal. You can expect a pretty pensive and nostalgic end of the year. Since the 5th house rules children, this could be a time to reminisce on childhood memories, especially since Christmas will be right around the corner. Overall, 2022 ends on a good note as all the tougher transit come to a conclusion. The slower pace will allow you to recollect yourself to guarantee you start 2023 feeling more robust than ever. Thank you so much for watching. Please give us a thumb up if you liked the video. Subscribe our YouTube channel not to miss the next video horoscope. Visit our website go-to-horoscope.com where you can find actual horoscope for today. Download our apps from Google Play and App Store to have your daily horoscope always on hand.